All right, guys, let's do this thing. Number one, maybe the longest one on the whole test. It says find a polynomial function degree 3 with those zeros. Negative 2 came from, first of all, I should have put p of x. My writing is going to be worse than usual because I don't have my Apple Pencil here, so sorry about that up front. X plus 2, positive 3i came from x minus 3i, negative 3i came from x plus 3i. Now you're better off doing the conjugates first. Let's just leave this x plus 2 over here for a second. Remember, conjugates you do foo, so if I do first, that's x times x. Last is negative 9i squared. Don't forget what the I squared does. The I squared is really negative 1, makes that x squared plus 9. Now I'm just going to do 4 and I'm going to be done. So I'm going to do first, I'm going out of order, inner, outer, and last. And there you have it. So it's not that bad. Number 2 is really quick. As long as number 1 was, number 2 is that quick. This says find a polynomial function of degree 5. So it's going to be if you add up all the x's, there should be 5 x's. Negative 2 as a 0 with multiplicity 2. So I'm going to go p of x equals negative 2 came from x plus 2. It has multiplicity 2. That's the exponent. 4 as a 0 of multiplicity 1. So it's just x minus 4. Don't need an exponent there because it's 1. And 2 is a 0 of multiplicity 2. So I'm going to x minus 2 squared. And if you look at that and cut up all the x's, you'll see 5 x's there. So that's all you got to do. Number 3, suppose a polynomial function has degree 5, which means it has 5 zeros. With rational coefficients, it has zeros 1/2, negative square root of 5, and negative 4i. Now, radicals always come in conjugate pairs. So if negative 5 is an answer, negative square root of 5 is an answer, positive square root of 5 is an answer. If negative 4i is an answer or a 0, so is positive 4i, and that's all you got to do in that one. So 2 and 3, really quick. Number 4, given that 4 is a 0, find the other ones. So I'm going to put 4 in the box. Not change the sign, whatever it says there is what I'm putting there. 1, negative 6. Got to do synthetic, and I should get 0 at the end. Bring the 1 down, 1 times 4, add, multiply, add, sure enough. Boom. Now, write what you have left. What I have left, then there's 1x squared minus 2x plus 5 equals 0. Now that won't factor, and you got to find the other zeros. It won't factor because there are no factors of 5 that add up to be 2. So you can either complete the square or you can do your quadratic formula song. Either way, I'm going to complete the square because this middle number is even. Plus, you need practice at that. Move the 5 over. Take half the middle, which is negative 1. Square it. Plus 1. Plus 1. That gives me x minus 1 squared. Remember, the half always goes inside over there. If you add those up over here, you get negative 4. Square root both sides. You get x minus 1 is plus or minus. Since it's negative, you got to take out an I, and that leaves square root of 4, which is 2. Then just move the 1 over. So my zeros are 1 plus or minus 2i. And don't forget the 4 you started with right there. That came from up here. Number 5, list all the possible rational zeros. Remember, the way you do the list is you take the factors of the last number and put them over the factors of the first. So the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. The factors of 3 are 1 and 3. So I'm going to put 1 and 3 over 1. That looks like that. 1 and 3 over 2, which is 1/2 and 3/2. And then 1 and 3 over 4, 1/4, 3/4. So that's all you got to do on that one. Just make the list. Number 6, find all the zeros. Now here's where we got to do all the work. Last doozy of the day here. Number 6, first of all, make the list. Factors of 27 over factors of 2. So 1, 3, 9, 27. That's all that goes into 27. And then put them over 2. 1/2, 3/2, 9/2, 27/2. Now what you're going to have to do is punch this in your calculator and see where it crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to go do that right now. All right, when I look at it, you're not going to like this very much, but it looks like negative 3/2 works. So I'm going to put negative 3/2 in the box and see if I get a 0. You got to prove it's a 0. Remember, you can't just look at your calculator and say, oh, that's it. You got to prove it. Bring the 2 down here. If you multiply that, you get negative 3. Add them up. Anything times 0 is 0. Bring that down here. 18 times negative 3/2 is negative 27. You can punch that in your calculator if you need to, but hopefully you don't. Now, that's what I have left. It said find all the zeros. Because the degree was 3, there's going to be 3 zeros. 1 is negative 3/2. I'm going to bring what I have left, that 2x squared plus 18 over here. Move the 18 over, make it negative 18, divide by 2, you get negative 9. Then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And the square root, first of all, you put a plus or minus, and because it's negative, you take out an I, and the square root of 9 is 3. And don't forget the first answer you found, negative 3/2. That's all you got right there. Number 7, blast from the past, determine a domain. Remember, the denominator can't be 0. So you got to say all x such that x cannot equal negative 4. There's that one. Number 8, the vertical asymptotes and the intercept. Vertical asymptotes is whatever makes the bottom 0. So my vertical is going to be x equals 5, x equals -7. Got to find the x-intercept. The x-intercept is whatever makes the numerator 0, which is -5. The y-intercept, remember, you just put zeros in for x's, or you cover up the x. If they cover up all the x's, like that one, that leaves a 5. Down here, that leaves a -35. So you get -5 over 35, which reduces, that's a -5 over 35, not a very good one, which reduces down to -1/7. So that would be your y-intercept. Number 9, horizontal asymptotes this time. Horizontal asymptotes, you got to look at the degree. Remember, there's 3 rules. This time, the degree on the bottom is bigger. Anytime that is true, it's y equals 0. There's your horizontal. It also said x and y-intercept. The x-intercept is going to be 0 because that's what makes the top 0. And guys, if the x-intercept is 0, the y-intercept has to be 0 because that's on both axes. But anyway, if you forgot, look at the degree again. The degree on the bottom is 5. The degree on top is 4. Anytime the degree on the bottom is bigger, I already did that, horizontal asymptote. Yeah, I'm putting zeros in for x's. If I put 0 in for x, I get a 0 on the top and 1 on the bottom, so the y-intercept is also 0. Sorry about that, I kind of went crazy there. Number 10, divide. Your choice how to do it. Because this is a x plus 2 right here, I'm going to do synthetic, so I'm going -2 in the box. 3, 2, don't forget your 0 because it's missing an x squared. Bring the 3 down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. All right, now remember your answer is going to start 1 degree less your quotient is than you started. We start with x to the 4th, so my answer is going to start with x cubed. Don't know what I'm doing there. -4x squared plus 8x minus 12, and then 15 is my remainder, which you always put over the x plus 2. Did that stuff last week. All right, number 11. Find the zeros and state the multiplicity. That's a quick one. The first 0 is going to be -2 with multiplicity 2 because it has an exponent 2. The next 0 is just 3, no multiplicity there. And then -1 has a multiplicity of 3 because that's the exponent. Piece of cake. I'm going to be honest with you, number 12, I'm not going to do that one because I forgot my calculator and I'm at home. So you have this left bound, right bound. You can do all that. We'll do it. I'm sure we did it in class today anyway, so you should be fine there. 13, I'm not sure what happened here. This is 14 should be over here. Something happened. Okay, so solve this one. First of all, you got to isolate the radical. So move the 1 over. I need to make this a little bit bigger so I have some room. All right, move that 1 over so I get square root of x plus 3 equals x plus 1. I'm going to square both sides here to get the radical to go away, and I'm squaring both sides, remember. So when I square the left-hand side, I get x plus 3. The radical goes away. On the right-hand side, I'm going square, multiply, double, square. Sorry about that. Move everything over. If I move this x over, I get just 1x. And sorry about this writing again, it's my marker. And if I move the 3 over, it's -2. So if I factor that, I get x plus 2, x minus 1, which means my 2 answers are -2 and 1 maybe. If I plug -2 right there, there's no way I'm going to do it. Well, let's check it. If I plug -2 inside, that gives me 1 minus 1. That's not -2, so it does not work. Plug 1 in there. 1 plus 3 is 4. Minus 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Minus 1 is 1. Yep, 1 works. Got to check those. Watch for those extraneous solutions. 14, I see absolute value, so I'm thinking 2 bars, 2 answers. 2 bars, 2 answers. First step, let's move that 14 over there. Do not make the absolute value go away until you get it isolated. When I move the 14 over, I get -9. Both sides are negative, so I'm going to drop the negative, just like that. Remember, if the right-hand side stayed negative, there'd be no solution, but it didn't, so we're good. Gotta get a quick drink here. Pretty good. Okay, so that means x plus 4 has to equal 9, or x plus 4 has to equal -9. All right, so just move the 4 over. If I move it over on this side, I get 5. If I move it over on that side, I get -13. Guys, that's it. There's your 2 solutions. 15. Find the vertex, all the stuff. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going -b over 2a for sure. So I'm doing -6 over 2 times 3. Work that out, I get -1. So my vertex is going to be -1 something. And remember how to get your y. You're just going to take that -1 and plug it in up there. And if I do that, it gives me 3 minus 6 plus, I can do that part in my head. 3 minus 6 plus 1, which is -2. So there's my vertex. Your axis, remember, is always x equals, and it's whatever the x coordinate is. And your max or min, this one has a min because it's going up, because it's positive 3. The minimum value is the y coordinate, which is negative 2. So there's your 3 answers. 2 more to go, almost there. Sorry. Number 16. Let's factor the bottom of this one. That's going to be x plus 3, x minus 3. So here's what I know for a fact. X cannot equal either positive 3 or negative 3. So keep that in mind before we, as we get through, as we try to get through. So multiply everything by the denominator, which is x plus 3, x minus 3. Every single term, x plus 3, x minus 3, and over here, x plus 3. Not sure what keeps happening. I need my Apple Pencil. X minus 3. Okay, so first of all, over here, x minus 3 is canceled. That leaves 5 times the x plus 3. Minus over here, the x plus 3 is canceled. Leaves a negative 3 times the x minus 3. And over here, everything cancels. It just leaves negative 2. That's a simple equation to solve. Distribute the 5. Distribute the negative 3. And it equals negative 2. So over here, I have 5x minus 3x is 2x. 15 plus 9 is 24. That equals negative 2. Take that 24 over. It's negative 26 divided by 2. Negative 13. There you have it. Last one, 17. Simplify. You cannot leave that I in the denominator because it's a radical. So multiply by the conjugate, which is 3 plus 8i. Top and bottom. Now the bottom, remember you can just do flu because there's a conjugate. So do 3 times 3, which is 9. Negative 8i times positive 8i is negative 64i squared. Don't forget I squared is really negative 1, which makes that really plus 64. 9 plus 64 is 73. There's the bottom. The top, I'm just going to distribute. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 8i is 40i. And you know what? It's done. Hope it helps. Come see me if you need to before you take this thing. I'll be here in the morning and during the day, so come see me. Happy spring break.